Hello, you're welcome. This is a professional development material that I've developed to address issues in educating individuals with learning, emotional, and intellectual disabilities. My name is Tom Rogers Muyunga Mukasa. This is part of the SPED 6238 class project. My abstract is as follows, and it is around advancing and maintaining a therapeutic milieu compliant classroom that revolves around dignity affirmation for the learner, teacher, and other staff, positive conduct in and out of the classroom-based strategies focusing on developing a graduate portrait, positive interaction, and a supportive environment maximizing education goals. Some of the keywords in this professional development tool are assessment, autistic spectrum disorder, ADHD comorbidity, assistive technology, autistic spectrum disorder, classroom, learner with emotional and behavioral disorders, therapeutic milieu, tasks, the teacher, and positive relationships. The content has objective, the teacher, the learner, the interventions, lesson plan and assessment, classroom setting, and takeaway. I'm going to develop this video to be an illustrative video, but I'm also going to be supplying the tool itself in a narrative and written format. All right, let's take it on. Like I said, the objective is to showcase what an ADHD therapeutic milieu compliant classroom revolves around to maximize education goals. This scenario includes HM, who is the student, who is also dyslexic, and also having ASD and ADHD. Let's talk about the teacher and HM, and then later on I just going to skim through so that we use the allotted time. The teacher must be mentally prepared, ready to use various teaching methods, and to always remember she or he is the elder in the room. The teacher has the capacity and competence to build a positive and supportive learning environment, plans and provides targeted approaches, structure in the form of daily schedules, routines, and expectations, which help students with learning disorders to easily navigate the predictable environment. The teacher reminds learners to engage in conduct, contributing to the expectation of a safe space. The teacher is able to identify and focus on strengths of the learners and ensures the classroom meets the physical and emotional needs for the learner to maximize education goals. Now, before we go to interventions, I wanted to show you a little bit about the learner himself, who is HM. HM has, like we said, both autistic spectrum disorder, ADHD, and this is also was diagnosed with dyslexia. The IEP on file provides guidance on how to establish a conducive learning atmosphere for HM. HM meets the grade 5 level requirements. Occasionally, HM can display aggressiveness, but is amenable and can be trained using the different teaching methods, engages in classroom activities and shows progress, is curious and shows enthusiasm for learning, self-advocates for breaks, and has acquired the skills showing progress toward self-regulation and problem solving. So we've seen the teacher and we've seen HM. Now we need to see the different interventions that can address HM's issues, but at the same time also the classroom setup. So we broke down the interventions in different categories. The first is a scenario, that is based on what is known as project-based learning, which is one of the interventions that we are putting in place and using as the learning media for HM. Just imagine HM has come to class with a plane and ship, and HM is adamant on showing off the plane and ship. So what the teacher does, the teacher anticipates this kind of behavior and gives HM 1 minute to provide a talk on, they even call them talk shows, a talk on the kind of toys that HM has brought to class. It's timed, definitely, and we use a visualized timing mode so that HM is aware that once his time runs out, he will maybe self-advocate for another extra minute or take it on the next day. Now, having shown how HM is treated, we also want to show that other model of high leverage practice as part of the scenario and intervention within which the class is set up. Before the morning meeting, there's a morning ritual which begins with a high five and check-in for all, including the teacher. There are established and clear routines and practices that support transitioning through the day's activities. The morning meeting is an opportunity for providing HM and the entire class expectations for the day. It is during this time that the previous day's points are addressed. Some of the technologies that we use are augmented and alternate communication apps, especially for HM, who uses the text-to-speech and speech-to-text software. The laptop, the tool that he uses at school, has that, is formatted to use that. The collaborative team that the teacher also relies on are other teachers who use or who teach specials. I'm rushing through because I'm going to also be giving you a chance to read the narrative, but I just wanted to show you how it is planned. The lesson plan and assessment also is done in such a way that they empower HM to acquire and maximize education goals. The classroom setting is therapeutic. It has visuals, it has tables and diagrams and charts, as well as the seating arrangement is such a way that it categorizes learning. The tasks are broken down, understandable, and engender engagement, designed to promote positive relationship and maximization of education goals. Now, since we are dealing with ADHD, ASD, and dyslexia, we also encourage the teachers to allow themselves time to learn and read about breakthrough information. And in our case, ADHD and how it was addressed in the past is not the same way that we are addressing it presently, because there are now more of contextual approaches. For instance, in certain contexts, a child or adult may display ADHD, ASD, and dyslexic signs and symptoms, but in another situation or setting, these very symptoms may disappear. So there's now understanding that contexts trigger or address ADHD and ASD issues. Now, as we move on to the takeaway, I wanted to read this. Different learners have different learning needs and styles. Thoughtful and empathetic planning provides context for academic progress and socio-emotional development for learners, whether they have ADHD, SD, dyslexia, or any intellectual disorders. Effective instruction and accommodations include differentiated instruction, which offer various teaching methods and materials to cater to different learning styles and the needs of learners. I've left for you a reference tool that you'd be able to read through so that you are able to understand how to come up with or even manage a classroom where in intellectual disorders, children and learners displaying intellectual disorders can actually acquire a setting that maximizes their education goals. I'm going to add this video as well as the narrative, and then provide you at least a different media through which you can be able to understand the material that I've presented. Thank you. My name is Tom, and I hope everything will be okay. Thanks.